With the divisional round coming to a close, there were some big takeaways that at least I found in each of the games, and what do those takeaways mean for the team's futures and things of that nature? Well, that's what I'm going to get into today. So I'm going to go chronologically with all the games. So we're going to start off with the Titans-Bengals, which is one of my favorites from the weekend. Now, the first thing I obviously noticed, and everyone else should, is the sacks. The Titans only allowed one sack, which, that's good. Tannehill had a lot of time to throw, I guess. But Joe Burrow was sacked 9 times, and as we all know, he came out with the win. The team was also penalized 3 times as much for 3 times as many yards. Now, how did Joe Burrow win this game when he was sacked 9 times and really had nothing going? Well, he had 348 yards, and his defense played well, only allowing 16 points. And also that guy, Evan McPherson, just exists. Jamar Chase and D. Higgins had good games. Uzuma had a good game. Joe Mixon had a good game. But one thing that also helped is Ryan Tannehill. The Titans need to start looking for a new quarterback. That's the takeaway from this game. The big takeaway from the Tennessee Titans losing to the Cincinnati Bengals is maybe it's time to move on from Ryan Tannehill. We've seen him struggle when he doesn't have Derrick Henry in the game, or if Derrick Henry, like in this one, is just come back from injury and only has 3.1 yards per carry. Yeah, he doesn't play well. He had 15 of 24 for 220 yards, 1 touchdown, which was to A.J. Brown, and 3 interceptions. A.J. Brown had a good game. Derrick Henry really didn't. He just had the touchdown. Deontay Foreman should have gotten more carries. He had 4 for 66, which was already more than what Derrick Henry had in the game. But Tannehill just did not play well, and that ultimately lost him the game. He threw a pick, I believe it was with 20 seconds left at midfield, and that literally gave Evan McPherson, 19 yards to go. The first play, they get 20 with Jamar, and McPherson obviously drills the kick, as we all know now. So Tannehill should be replaced, or look to be replaced in the future, like with drafting a quarterback and setting him for a year, because he's not that guy and never will be that guy. He's just a play-action passer who's a system quarterback. Now, next is a game that genuinely hurt me to watch because, believe it or not, I like Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I'm a Pats fan. Yeah, Brady's the GOAT, whatever. I like Aaron Rodgers. I like what he's about. I understand the off-the-field stuff, but I'm focused on the on-the-field stuff with Rodgers because he's the best quarterback I've ever seen play. Talent-wise, not greatest, though. We already know that answer. But back to the game. Sorry, guys. So the 49ers obviously won for a multitude of reasons. One, their defense played great, sacking Aaron Rodgers 5 times, not really allowing much on the ground, in the air. There's nothing he could really do in this game. He just had a pretty solid average performance. Sorry, not solid. But Jimmy G didn't do anything either. The offense definitely did not win them this game. It was the defense, and we'll get to the other reason in a second. But I don't know how the 49ers won this game with how Jimmy G performed, with how the ground game performed. No one in the ground game did well at all. Eli Mitchell, 17 for 53, Debo, 10 for 39, Juszczyk, 2 for 14, whatever. Who cares? 2 runs. But, in that scenario, you cannot be winning that game, but they did because of special teams. They blocked a field goal, they blocked a punt, which was a touchdown, and then Robbie Gould with the game-winning kick. In that scenario, there's nothing much you can do. Now, as for the takeaway, I think it's pretty obvious that this was the last game that Aaron Rodgers will play in a Green Bay Packer uniform. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't want to speculate on that. But he's either going to retire, which I don't think is the likely scenario, but it's an option. Get out of Green Bay. Get the hell out of Green Bay. I don't like how Green Bay has treated Rodgers. They've only given him Devontae Adams, which, yeah, it's Devontae Adams, one of the best receiver in the league. But when you only have him, you saw it in this game. Him and Aaron Jones were the only ones to catch a football besides Allen Lazard, who had a 6-yard catch. Jones and Devontae had 18 catches combined. Mercedes Lewis caught one, but it was for 0 yards, so I'm not even going to count it. And he fumbled. So Aaron Rodgers needs to get the hell out of Green Bay. That is the takeaway from this game. He needs help. badly in his football career, because if he doesn't get another ring, his legacy is not going to be as good as we all think it should be due to his talent. And the Packers just aren't supporting Rodgers with the talent that he needs to win rings. And now we're going to move on to the divisional round game between the Buccaneers and the Rams. Now, this would have been my favorite game of the weekend, but it's not for obvious reasons. That's because I love Brady, because I'm a Pats guy, and I love Stafford just because I'd always known he's good. I literally have my most popular video is me calling him the most underrated quarterback of the last decade. We all know how that's panned out so far this postseason. Speaking of that, Stafford now has 2 postseason wins, Rams 130-27. However, the biggest takeaway from this game is that the Rams should be scared for next week. I think they would beat the 49ers, but with how many points their defense let up in the second half of that game, it's scary. Yes, I know it's Tom Brady, and yes, I know the 49ers have Jimmy Garoppolo, but that was scary considering the fact that they're probably going to be going against the Chiefs or the Bengals in the Super Bowl, both good offenses. So if your defense keeps doing stuff like that, that's the scariest thing, I think, and I think that's the biggest takeaway, is that the Rams should be scared about their defense in the Super Bowl. Not necessarily next round, even though they should be a little bit, but I think they'll be fine as the 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo. But in the Super Bowl, I would be wary of their defense and try to fix some stuff, because Darius Williams had a PI, I think. Jalen Ramsey allowed a long touchdown to Mike Evans after he kicked Darius Williams off of Mike Evans because he had that flag, and then he got burnt like 5 plays later, or maybe it was the next drive or something. But yeah, if I was a Rams fan / Rams coach, I would be saying, although my defense is great, we had a mishap all the second half of last game, and I would be scared for the Super Bowl. And for the final divisional round game, we have the worst game of the week in the Chiefs-Bills, the overtime thriller. Obviously, guys, that was sarcasm. Don't get mad, Jesus. Between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Both teams played great. I mean, I think the Bills should have won this game prior to the game and during the game, based on how everything was going out. But apparently 13 seconds is too long for Patrick Mahomes to have the ball, because he drove the team down for a field goal with 13 seconds left in the game. I've never heard of that in my life. Like, that is unheard of. I don't get it. I don't get how that happened. But either way, the takeaway from this outstanding game, and I'm sorry, Buffalo fans, that this had to happen to you, is that this is the new Manning and Brady. In this scenario, Brady is Mahomes and Josh Allen is Manning, because Brady's gotten the best of Manning most of his career, but it's been a couple times where Manning got Brady, but we haven't gotten there yet in these two players' young careers. I mean, Mahomes is 2-0 versus Josh Allen in the playoffs. Combined, this game had 7 passing touchdowns and 707 yards of passing. And both quarterbacks had 68 and 69 rushing yards, respectively. Mahomes with another rushing touchdown. Like, these two are going to go at it in the AFC for a decade. It is going to be insane, this matchup. And I'm a Pats fan. I hate seeing the Bills do well because, they're in my division. And the Chiefs, I mean, beat them in the playoffs. So, I mean, it's all right, but still, it's the Chiefs. But this is going to be entertaining to watch just as a football fan, not just looking from it from my team's perspective, because these two are the next Tom Brady and Peyton Manning rivalry. The divisional round was crazy. There were a lot of exciting games. Every game came down to a last-second score to win it, whether it was a field goal or a touchdown in overtime. Every game was very exciting to watch. Even the 49ers-Packers one, which is low scoring, because the 49ers came back and won that game. I mean, overall, there's no complaints from this divisional round unless you were a fan of a team that lost. Luckily, my team only lost in the wild card by 30, so I don't have anything to complain about this round. But either way, great divisional round, and I'm excited for the AFC and NFC championships that will lead us into the Super Bowl. And with all that being said, that is it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning into Fanatic Sports. If you made it this far into the video, come on now, just give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It only takes like 2 seconds to do, so help a brother out. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at FanaticSports25 and on Twitter and TikTok at Fanatic Sports. But before I go, what did you think of the divisional round? What did you take away from these 4 games? Comment your thoughts down below.